Welcome back to Gun Tote Minnesotan. Today we're taking a look at the VO HD2 1042M. It's a monocular that comes with a digiscoping kit. This optic has Hoya ED glass, which has a fantastic image, and of course it comes with these accessories. This is your digiscoping kit. This is for the eyepiece and your phone, as well as a Bluetooth remote. Let's open it up and see what's inside. I find that people are more and more informed about optics, and so they're going to be curious about some of these specs, which are neatly listed here on the side of the box. If you are curious, go ahead and pause the video and take a look to find out the details that you might be interested in. Taking a look inside the box. Now it's going to come in this nice case. A couple of extras here. So you have your battery for your Bluetooth device, recording remote. You have a lens cleaning cloth, as well as an instruction manual. If you've never used one of these or never installed one of these before, this could be helpful for you. Inside the monocular case, you see that it has a nice fold that actually goes a little bit beyond just the opening you need, because there's a few more things in here. First, I have the Bluetooth button here, which has paired well with my Android phone, but it also has a button for iPhone users if you need that as well. Here's our digiscoping eyepiece adapter for your phone. And I've actually, in full disclosure, I've actually got one of these already. And so I haven't had to use this one yet, but just to show you, it comes with a rubberized adapter there, as well as the device, which works by ratcheting onto the eyepiece. I'm going to loosen this up just so you can see that this is how the adjustment works. Back and forth. It also has a 1/4 inch underneath. There's lots of different ways you could set this up or use it, tighten it down for the type of device that you're using, but mostly phones. And lastly, the bag has generous amounts of space, plenty of space, and it's well padded. It seems like a really high quality bag. And on the back side, you can see that there is a loop. So if you wanted to attach this via carabiner or belt, you have both of those options there, and it seems like a sturdy multi-stitch pattern. Here is the strap, so if you choose to run a strap through the bottom of your monocular, so you can attach the carrying lanyard to retain both the eye cover strap and then also mount right up to the device itself. Those mate together pretty nicely. You can see you have your 1/4 inch adapter on the bottom if you want to put an Arca piece on there, which I will be reinstalling my Arca piece. That's the way I like to use it. Here's your front cover for your lenses. It flips down, which is the proper orientation. You want it to be down and out of the way and not having it somehow rebound there, but it is easily removable if you just don't find that you need it. So as you can see, the device is really quite small. Fits my hand nicely, easily fits in a pocket, and all the features on here, including this very smooth rubberized center focus piece here, really comfortable. Well made, great coating on the outside there, which is going to resist water and snow, the elements in general, and just keep your product from becoming too slippery in hand. All right, forgive me for the wind sound. It is a little blustery out today. But I'm at 330 yards where I'm going to be filming and looking at some targets. I'm going to be shooting in a second if the wind can calm down just a tad. And I'm going to use my Vanguard VO 10x42 monocular. I'll be using the digiscoping kit and some of the other features as well. First, I thought it would be good just to set it up at, probably the furthest distance that I'll use this for the shooting purposes anyways. Let's see, get it clamped in. I did add an Arca plate to this. There we go. It's so windy, I'm actually going to take that off and put it in my pocket. All right, looking at some clay pigeons down there. The focus and the depth of field it's reasonably good. I have something that is about 250 yards from where I'm at right now, and then something that's at 330. And they're actually both fairly well in, they're somewhat clear. There's definitely one that's obviously in focus, and that's a good sign because the glass is clear enough that I can tell what's in focus and what's not. If you've had poor quality glass ever, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what's actually in focus and what's not perfectly in focus. Depth of field can be a confusing conversation, I think, with poor quality glass, but with better quality glass, it just seems a little bit easier to tell what's going on. Center of the image looks very good. I'm picking up pretty good color, pretty good contrast. I've got an orange, a blue, a red, a white target down there, not to mention plenty of grass that's with browns and black and kind of a tan coloration, sand, rocks. Now, one thing that I'm impressed with is just how sharp the clarity is. Yeah, it's right there. I'm dealing with just a minor amount of mirage with my other optics. I'm not seeing any with this right now. There it is. Yeah, very clear. I can pick up at 330 yards. I've shot some clay pigeons on other days, and the little bits are up there. I can pick up every little bit of the clay pigeons. I can see very, very small pieces that I would assume are less than an inch in size. Looking at the detail in the dirt, that's kind of a blend of colors, and usually with poor quality glass, it would just be muddy. It would just look like mud. You wouldn't really be able to pick out the detail of the rocks and the features and parts that are deeper or not as deep. It would all kind of just smudge together in poor quality glass, but this actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Not too bad. I'm impressed that I can focus so close. I've got something here at 20 yards. Let's go a little closer. Yep, go to 20 and then go back out to right about there. Back to 330. Very easy to use. That wheel is buttery smooth. That's probably the right amount of resistance so it doesn't just get bumped on its own. You don't want it to just move every time it's in a bag. If you want to leave it at a static position, it's nice just to know that it's not going to move on its own or be, just simply nudged in a bag. It's got a nice rubberized texture to it, good grip. I like that it has the rubberized texture because in Minnesota it's cold. It's not right now, but normally it's very, very cold. And typically in February, time like this, it would be this windy for sure. And there would be a snowstorm, and it would probably be like near sub-zero or something like that. And today it's warmer out, so I'm actually getting a little mirage. The birds flying around at 330 into the trees there, I can pick out definitely individual birds. I can see a certain amount of detail. I would want more magnification than this at 330 yards to do birding at distance. But certainly right over here at 20 yards, so I got 20 and then about 50. at 20 yards, you could pick up a lot of detail. I think the digiscoping kit would do a really good job with, if you have a modern phone with a decent camera, I think you'd be able to get a lot of detail. You'd certainly be able to identify birds and get some nice pictures just to show off, depending on how good your camera is. By the way, if you need a good tripod, check out Vanguard tripods, because they have a lot. They have filming tripods, they have outdoors tripods, they have shooting tripods, and I have reviewed a few of each, and I think I'll probably do more in the near future. This one right here is really great for spotting and like spotters in general. Okay, so one position I like to use is to hug my tripod, and I can keep a nice small footprint with this one. Let's go like that. I can keep a small footprint and keep this low and then extend the neck, and that's why I like the Vanguard tripod quite a bit. Get my hat brim over the top here. Okay. And all the adjustments are right here where I need them to be. So now I'm looking 700 yards away. That's pretty far. I understand most of us aren't going to be doing that, but I have plenty of detail at 700 yards. I would actually be comfortable spotting for most shooting at 1,000 yards with this 10 by. If there's a dirt medium behind for misses and impacts, I think I'd be comfortable using this. That being said, most people are going to use more magnification, and I don't blame them at all. But you can do it for sure. It's a very capable range. 10 is really good for up and close if you're not going fast, or maybe you're birding, or you just want to get good detail, something closer. And then far away, you can still pick up quite a bit. Dirt splashes and things like that work well. Animals, critters, tracking in a hunting scenario, I could see this being a pretty capable optic as well. One thing I like to do is throw this on my tack table when I'm shooting, especially close range stuff, air gun type shooting, and this is a perfect small footprint to throw in the bag with the table. I can get my other devices on here, and this is all the power I need for shooting. Even up to a couple hundred yards, I can spot pretty good. My eyesight's good enough. But certainly here at about 30 yards, it really helps me distinguish which impact is which. And if I'm spotting for someone else, I can go quite a bit further with this setup right here. But around the house, this is just such a convenient thing to throw in a pocket, walk out there, hook it up on my tripod, and get shooting. Vanguard monocular spotting at 330 yards, about 40-mile-an-hour winds in the gusts right now. CZ457 suppressed with norm attack. Data is around 15.5. impact. All right, now I'm just going to pan around at some different things. That garage right there is about 45 yards away. This shed door is about 60 yards away, maybe 65 or so. I haven't touched the focus at all this whole time. That shed right there is also about 50 yards away from where I'm at right now. Let's look into a shadow. And I'm going to look down in this shed. Adjust the focus a little bit. There you go. Well, it's not too bad. It's very dark in there. It's very black. And I can pick out inside the shed, I can pick out that there is a pallet sitting in there, and there's only a little sunlight. To the naked eye, it's almost impossible to really see in there very well. I actually think this is doing a better job than my eye does to look into that dark space, and it's pulling out the image, and I'm seeing a certain amount of detail inside that dark space. So looking into shadows is a great way to test glass and the capability of the optic. All right, I'm going to focus a little bit. That's a 5G tower at about 849 yards from where I'm at right now. At 849, I can actually pick out the eagle's nest on top. I can see a little bit of the infrastructure, and that's pretty impressive for only 10 power. I think the detail is decent. Clarity is good, contrast is good. It's not just smudging together. The very center of the optic is actually pretty reasonable. Better than expected. I'll actually say that's a better image than I expected at 850. Kind of pointing towards the sun. I thought I might get a little more flare going on the lens or on the periphery on the sides here. Not too bad at all. It actually looks very, very nice. And that sun is basically pointing right into the objective. It's just off to the 3 o'clock, but the angle is probably pointing in pretty sharp. Still getting a really nice image at 850 yards. That's impressive. I think at 850 yards on dirt, I'll still be able to pick up impacts as a sand or dirt or mud medium, snow maybe a little bit. It'll be harder in vegetation for sure at 850, but not too bad in dirt. All right, this is a little bit extreme for proximity. This is very, very close. That is at about 9 yards actually, and that's an electric fence. It's a 50-inch tall electric fence, and so field of view is obviously going to be dramatically reduced when you're so close with 10 power, but I'm getting lots of great detail. The focus absolutely goes between that 8 and 10 yards, easily goes that close. And I could make out, if I was birding or picking up detail, even words, I could read text this close. If I was spotting for air gun or 22 at very, very close distances, I could pick up whatever information I needed to. I just thought I would throw that in there because most of the rest of the footage is going to be at extended ranges, at least around 100 yards. All right, that right there is about 240 yards to the clay house and the chair. Looking into, let's focus again, looking into an area with lots of trees, a wooded area, lots of brush. I can pick out that detail and get a nice shot of that vehicle as well. Plenty of detail that I'm picking out. Center image looks excellent. Colors look pretty good. It's actually relatively sharp For a 10x monocular, some people might not have taken this very seriously in their production, but this actually is a very good quality image and a good quality product. I think they probably excelled above the other monoculars with the image on this one. Well, there you have it. This was my experience kind of trying out this monocular. I have been a fan of Vanguard products and I have several of them, but this was my first monocular to try out, and I think they excelled with this, especially concerning image. I mean, what does a person get a piece of glass like this for? Spotting, looking at birds, targets, sports, things like that. And nobody wants to look through a milky piece of glass. So I commend Vanguard for producing a monocular like this that has a low footprint, it's light, it has the accessories that most people are going to want or need in all of those categories, and it's pretty durable. On top of that, it does have a great image. The HD image in that Hoya glass holds up to my expectations, and I'm very happy with the wide field of view. If this, though, isn't exactly what you were looking for, stick around and maybe consider some of the other videos here. At the end of this time, I'm going to post up a couple more. There's a spotter, there's some binos that I've done reviews for. Vanguard has lots more products, not just glass. They also have tripods, filming gear, outdoor gear. There's a lot of things that you might want to consider outside of just the monocular, but I can get behind the monocular. It's got my thumbs up and my stamp of approval. I like it a lot in this configuration, and you'll see it more on my channel. Check them out at vanguardworld.com.